Well, Canada has launched the Sky Canada Project, a study planned to collect information to document rare natural phenomena. It's the first known official Canadian UFO research effort in nearly 30 years.
So joining us this morning for more insight into this project are Humber College professors specializing in the study of conspiracy theories and also the co-hosts of the Uncover Up podcast, Nathan Radke and Lee Kunla. Good to have both of you on the program this morning. Thanks for being here. Lee, let me kick this off with you. The first official study into sort of potential UFOs or whatever they're calling them now.
Aerial phenomena.
What does that mean?
UFOs.
Right? Yeah, let's call them UFOs. I like that better. Everyone knows what we're talking about at that point. How significant is it that the government is really addressing this so publicly and really actually looking at it?
Well, I think it is very significant, but it's not that new. What we're in is what is technically known as a UFO flap. And that's where people are seeing a flap, F-L-A-P-P.
Okay.
That's the technical UFO nerd term.
Okay.
But it's a thing, and it's where people are seeing stuff in the skies. But the thing is, this has been happening historically for decades, and it tracks political and social uncertainty and fear. Now, it is significant that we're looking into it now. It is a serious national security issue, but it's not quite as new as it might seem.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. And Nathan, let's turn to you now. So who will comprise this new team to make up this project? Is it the Canadian Space Agency, the Transport Ministry? Like, who's involved? And what exactly are they going to be trying to research, to do?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. Governments have been interested in UFOs for years. The big change now is that they're admitting this is a legitimate phenomenon. Whereas before, anybody who came forward to say that they had seen a UFO, there was a lot of stigma attached. And they're saying, no, this is legit. But because this is a pretty new thing admitting that, they have to basically set this whole thing up from scratch. So there's a lot of questions about, okay, who do people report to? How is that reporting done? What kind of responses are there? And so this isn't even a study into the UFOs. What we're having now is a study into how we can study the phenomenon of UFOs.
Okay.
Even that acknowledgement, though, is really fascinating, right? Because, I mean, for so long, it's like, oh, Area 51, that's a no-go zone. We don't talk about that. These lights that pilots have seen when they're flying, whether they're Air Force pilots, et cetera, Nathan, these things have happened as well. So just the fact that it's being addressed, I think, to me, really signals maybe an evolution in terms of attitudes. Is that fair to say? And that there's a credence being given to the stories now?
Absolutely, and that is extremely significant. I mean, we're only going to be able to study this if we remove that stigma. And as Lee was saying, this is a legitimate phenomenon that has implications for national security. It has implications for passenger safety in airplanes. Like, this is an important thing that we need to be paying attention to. And hopefully this is maybe the first step in us giving it the attention that it deserves.
And you mentioned the word security, Nathan, but Lee, I want to ask you, why now? Why after so long, when we've heard countless reports, I mean, I'm sure you guys covered in your podcast, that they've decided to do this? Is it because of the recent news of the Chinese spy balloon and those other 3 identified objects over the North Atlantic?
I can only speculate, but I really think that that is a really plausible explanation for it. The balloons, that was a quite unique event, although again, historically, there have been more precedents than we might imagine. I think going back a bit further to the Tic-Tac objects that the Air Force released, the Pentagon released these videos from 2004. Barack Obama then later came on TV and said, I don't know what these things are. I think that started to get the public more interested again in what's going on. And yeah, then I think the proximate event of the balloons, the 4 that were just shot down in February, I think that has really been the trigger to say, look, we got to look into this. And the United States has been further ahead in taking these phenomena seriously, and Canada really doesn't have a reporting system.
Right, and are you finding, Nathan, before we kind of let you both go here, that this has really triggered more interest in the Uncover Up podcast? Because I'm sure this is plenty of fodder from what you and Lee discuss.
Yeah, well, one of the things we do is we put things in a historical context. And so we, right now, are looking at the phenomenon of alien abductions, things like the Betty and Barney Hill abduction in the 1960s, to try to show that this stuff isn't new. This has been going on for a long time, and we need to understand the history of it if we need to understand what's happening now.
Right.
Okay, fascinating stuff. Very quickly, yes or no answer. Do you believe in aliens and, space UFOs, all that kind of stuff?
Okay, I believe that aliens exist in the universe, but they're not visiting us in UFO spacecraft.
Got it.
Nathan?
I believe in UFOs, but remember the U stands for unidentified.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
So I
point.
believe there's stuff in the sky and we don't know what
We
it is.
don't know what it is.
Nathan Radke, Lee Kunle, great to talk to you, both of you, from the Uncover Up podcast. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having
All right,
us.
of course, we
Thanks so
have been
much.
also asking you about this. We want to know, should we be paying more attention to UFOs in Canadian skies?
So you can email us your answers to now@cp24.com or use the handle at CP24Breakfast on Instagram or Twitter, and we'll try to share some of those responses with our viewers this morning.